everyone. One of those 2 interviews in one day days. So if you were with me earlier, you get an extra treat and get a second interview today with someone who's not really a first-time offender, but it's the first time doing an interview like this. Kenny Sprague of Radius Drums in the Seattle area. We first met at the Las Vegas Drum Show March 30th, went through your booth, some of your awesome items. We're going to show some and some others in video clips in a moment, and talk about your entrepreneurial journey as well. So, folks, if you're on an entrepreneurial journey, there's probably some messages here you can gain from, as well as if you're a drum builder, might pick up some spice. And if you're a drummer, you can see some really cool drums that you might even want. And if you like to just geek out on looking at drums and you're not a drummer, we got some clips for you. How are you, Kenny?
I'm great, Dan. How are you?
Great, thanks. Eager to show off your stuff. Very creative. Let's start with this. When did you start drum building and what inspired you?
Okay, well, see, I built my first drum, I want to say it was 2016. And I work commercial construction, so I talked to a flooring guy and got some scraps from him, and failed a few times, and I think my third shell came out decent enough to play, and didn't go in the burn pile.
Cool.
And yeah, I've just always been building, like we talked about before, guitars and lots of other things, cabinets, and always been a builder. But once I posted some pictures of my work, and somebody a couple towns away said, "Hey, we got to talk. I need you to build me some drums." And first paying customer, and I was like, "All right, there might be something to this."
Yeah, cool. And what type of drums? Tell everybody what type of drums you build and how your technique or your skill set kind of evolved.
Yeah, so I build stave drums. I always assume that people know what they are, but I can't do that. A lot of people probably don't. But yeah, so it's like a barrel. Staves are the wood pieces stacked around, glued together with angles, and then I round them with routers and jigs that I made, and just progressively upgraded my skills and my tools over the years. And yeah, I can get all kinds of different wood combinations doing it that way,
Cool.
joining them together,
Cool.
and kind of do whatever I want.
That's cool. Let's look at a couple of them. Let's start with the birch cherry. I'm going to show a video while Kenny narrates what we're looking at. And this is a real short video, so I'll probably play it twice. And here it is.
All right, so this is a 13 by 6.5 birch and cherry stave. This is actually a throwback to that customer I was talking about. He wanted that wood combination. I built him a 14 by 8, and I just wanted to kind of throw back to my first build. The wood combination, it sounds great together, and I love a deep 13-inch snare. So,
That's cool. I love the polka dot strap. That is cool.
Yeah, that's on little circles. Just kind of get a radius everywhere you go.
That's cool. And the tube lugs.
Yep, tube lugs. I kind of have a deal that if any drum over 6 inches or deeper gets tube lugs, and 5.5 or smaller gets single point.
Cool. Let's look at the Radius drums, the Illusions drum. Tell us about this one.
A good one. Yeah, this is number 3 in the Illusion series, and this is number 2. Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted something that would kind of really mess with your eyes, all the way around the drum shell. Something interesting.
Yeah, how is that made? Is it printed or lasered or painted? How is that done?
Yeah, it's laser engraved. So I go section by section between the lugs and laser engrave the image on there, and
And the
Yeah,
tan is the original drum color?
yeah, that's beechwood, and all the dark is the laser engraving.
That's cool.
So the idea with the illusions is kind of a 3D, optical illusion kind of
Yeah.
theme.
I like that center lug with both tension rods, both top and bottom coming off of that
Yeah,
one lug.
yeah,
That
me
looks real
too.
clean. I'm gonna show it
Clean.
one more time. Yeah, that's a neat look and saves,
Yeah,
again, less stuff on the drum hindering the shell from singing, if you will.
exactly. Yeah, less hardware, more voice. And it's got I started using the trick three position throw offs on everything since I
Cool. They're
want to say
great throw off.
23. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
Allows
awesome.
for some quick
And
changes.
then we've got the black and white maple. This is a neat looking drum. Check this out, folks. If you like stuff that's different as well. This is
Yeah,
nice. That matte finish. Or is it a
yeah.
satin finish or a matte?
This would be a satin, and
Okay.
yeah, it kind of ended up being. I didn't mean to do this, but it's kind of an homage to the old Greg Bissonette, old school, white hardware, black drums.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
That
I call this
grain is
the tuxedo
killer.
maple.
Oh, that's cool. I love the darkness of that.
Yeah, and when the light's not shining on it like it is in the video, you can really see the depth of the grain in the
Yeah,
maple. It's super sweet, and it sounds amazing. I get a lot of compliments on this drum. It's got a
that's
lot of
cool.
pop to it.
And how deep is that one, Kenny?
That's a 13x7.
Cool. And then we've got the maple roses. Check this one out, folks. This is cool. For
Is
some
like a maple vibe, you
reason,
know.
yeah, we were muted there. Go ahead and talk about it, and then I'll show the
Oh,
video.
really?
Not sure why it muted us. That was weird.
Strange. Yeah, it's I built this a couple of years ago, and it's the only one I've made with wood hoops, but it sounds awesome. It's got a nice, obviously very open, kind of war drum sound to it for the
Oh,
war style. But I didn't laser engrave the roses on there until just recently. It was
hmm.
just it needed a little something, and I didn't want to take away from the drum shell itself, and figured roses were kind of elegant, and didn't take up a ton of space, but it made it look cool. And
Yeah.
I want to really dive into the laser engraving thing, so that's going to be kind of my calling card.
That's cool. Yeah, we saw some great examples of that at the drum show. And folks, you can
Hmm.
find that on our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Vimeo channels. Just search Radius Drums, Drum Talk TV, and you'll find that. I'm going to show that drum again. And I noticed you've got like that bass drum hoop claws holding it down, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Check this out, folks.
yeah,
I've
yeah. Those
never
claws.
played a drum of any kind with a wood hoop like that with sticks. Does it take some adjustment, obviously, right? If you're used to either a metal S hoop or a standard rim, and then you've got something that's a lot higher. How does one adapt to that? I've never played something like that.
Lots of accidental rim shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really play it that often. It sits on the shelf waiting for its final home, but yeah, to play it is I like to be really careful. I don't
Yeah.
want to I don't want to ding up those hoops.
Yeah, I pictured these wood hoop drums always being nicked up. I see Tommy Aldridge playing them by Yamaha, and he's a pretty hard hitter. And I'm like, how does he not completely F up those wooden rims? And they're
Yeah,
pretty
it's
robust,
mangled,
you know,
I'd
they're like
imagine.
that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So
sounds
cool.
great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to hear that one. So tell us about the kind of conundrum you were in before you started doing this and how drum building replaced your other habit.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was let's see. I had quite the drinking problem before I started building drums. So I guess if we go all the way back, it's I started drinking and doing drugs at 14 years old, which is
Oh,
crazy because I have kids now that are older than that. Luckily,
right.
they're good.
I have grandkids older than that. Hope I don't think they're drinking
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Well, the grandkids that are older than
Let's
that,
hope
that
not.
are of age, they are.
Right.
But yeah,
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
I did that. I did that for a lot of years, and you know, time goes on, and you don't have any brake pedal on that alcohol. It's just all gas all the time.
Yeah.
Um, things get out of hand, and your life can get pretty messed up. And
If you don't mind me
uh,
asking, how did you know it was time? Like, how did you know enough was enough? What was the aha moment, or I've got to change this stuff now moment, if you don't mind
yeah,
me asking?
um, the wife let me know, and yeah, after a long night of not remembering pretty much anything, I woke
Yeah.
up with a little voice in my head that said, "You're not going to survive another one of those." And with that, the combination of the wife saying it's either me or the bottle, I had to make the right choice. And it's, I'm going on in November. I'll have 10 years
Wow,
without alcohol. Yeah, so
congratulations. That's
thank you.
great. Well, after going through that, what was the transition like? Like physically, I know that there's effects with withdrawal, and there can be emotionally and mentally too. How did you get through that? And what did it feel like?
That's a good question. Socially, it was pretty strange. Being a drummer in a band and being used to, you know, doing shots of Jaeger or double shots of whiskey before a set. Like that can't be normal anymore. Um, so my approach to this, not everyone who has gotten sober is going to agree with, but marijuana is legal here in Washington, and that was uh, a huge help for me to get out of the rut that I was in. And
Good.
I might use it for crutches a little while, but I made rules around it. I made sure that there were fences in place to not let things get out of hand, and it kind of
Right.
helped me transition out of that alcoholism that was pretty much breaking everything down around me.
What did you first notice when you were, and at what point, how long were you away from it when you noticed a big difference in your own behavior, thinking, and how you felt, and how long did that take?
Hmm. It was. I guess it was pretty immediate. Believe
Oh,
it or not. You know when you have that rock bottom moment, the wife's gonna leave, take the kids, and that little voice in your head says you could die from this if you don't get your stuff together. Um, I just that switch got flipped, and I just didn't do it anymore. And I wasn't broke anymore. I wasn't digging around my car for change on a Wednesday night to get a 99-cent beer. Um,
right,
you know, um, I played live so much better. I didn't forget parts of songs.
right.
You
Or the bass player's name.
That's funny. I've had the same bass player for like 20 years. He's like my brother. Um, but yeah, things actually got better relatively quickly. Now, I will say that obviously there are things that I had been pushing down for that 20 or so years of drinking, and those don't go away. Those have to get dealt with. But
Right.
sometimes it got dark, sometimes it cleared up, and sometimes it got scary. But you have to, time to grow up, be a man, and face whatever you got going on. So
Yeah, that's such a great point because I really believe that no matter how good anybody has it, whatever it is, and no matter how
yeah,
good, quote unquote, it is, everyone's got crap, you know? Everyone's got crap going on, whether it's something that happened years and years ago, whether it's something we're going through now, whether it's something where anxiety is the only future emotion based on future, whether it's something we're anxious about that we're anticipating and making up in our mind that might happen and all the what ifs. It's like it could be a daily thing. And it's easy for
Yeah.
that to my wife's a therapist. I know a lot about
Oh,
this.
nice.
Um, and I, and I'm a human on the planet too, and I've had crap,
Yeah, for
going
sure.
on that I deal with. And being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur as well, it's there's stuff that we have to deal with, and we all deal with it differently. Some of it not always healthy. Like what you said you went through. You couldn't remember stuff. Your wife was on you, was going to leave, right? And were forgetting parts to songs. And gosh, I do that. And I'm sober, and I forget parts. So
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, there were days where I just, you don't want to call them full blown blackouts, but like you don't remember
pieces.
after dinner, you wake up, I helped put the kids to bed last night, that kind of thing. And then there were obviously the full blown blackouts where I lose
Right.
half a day, and those were never pretty.
Yeah. And then you channeled that into making drums, right?
Yeah, I actually I needed something to occupy myself, and digging in the garden was nice, but it just wasn't filling the void.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, um, I found a new outlet for my creativity, which is fantastic. And
Yeah.
honestly, it is kind of a new addiction, but it's much healthier for me.
Definitely. And you still
Yeah,
play?
yeah, I still play.
Cool.
I don't play as often as I'd like, but yeah, me and the boys are trying to book shows and get back out there on just little local spots.
That's cool. What kind of music do you like to play?
Oh man, I was in a metal band for a long time. I've been in, I guess you could call us a grunge band.
Near
Probably,
Seattle? That's weird.
yeah, it just kind of happens around here. The rainy weather, it just happens. But yeah, since 2003, I want to say, yeah, 2004, we've been, you know,
Wow.
we've been off and on, but we're like brothers, and there's no breaking us up at this point. It's just very long breaks every now and then.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. And you have kids?
Yeah, two kids, both in high school.
Cool.
Um, yeah, they're great. Both drummers.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if they play anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. My
cool.
daughter is in marching band, and she's going to join jazz band next year. And my son, he's been playing forever since he was a little kid, and he's got his own metal band now. So they're trying to
That's
get
great.
things going. Super cool.
Very cool. Where can people find your awesome gear? And I'll show another video while you're telling everybody, and Steve will put it in the comments.
Absolutely. My website is radiusdrums.com, and I have stuff on Reverb if people prefer that. Um,
Cool.
you can find me mostly on Instagram, Radius Drums, and I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn.
Cool.
That might be it.
Great. That's beautiful stuff. What are you working on now that you can give people sort of a heads up on now? Any special
Okay, so
designs?
I'm
I saw
actually,
some cool themes at the Las Vegas Drum Show.
yeah. Well, so most of my drums up to this point have all been stave and or segmented shells, but um, I just announced maybe a week, 10 days ago,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to start offering 8-ply shells.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so I'm actually working on one of these right now, 8-ply birch with another 8-ply of re-rings. It's going to a customer in Atlanta, and it's going to
Wow.
be
All the
awesome.
way over
Yeah,
there. Cool. So you sell all
yeah,
over. That's good to know.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the U.S. and you can order from the website anywhere in the U.S. If you're out of the country,
Cool.
you can DM me or email me or whatever. We can work that out. Yeah,
Great.
ply shells are going to be a normal thing now. I'm
That's
very,
cool.
very excited about.
Nice. You staying with the trick throw offs on those?
Yeah, tricks are standard now,
Great. Yeah.
and yeah. So my plan is the 8 plies are going to be kind of my laser engraving shells, custom depths, custom images, and then when I do stave work, I think I'm going to get more a little more intricate with the stave work and do
Oh, cool.
some really cool exotic wood combinations within the shells. So I'll kind of have a laser engraving on one hand, and then super intricate, well maybe not super intricate, but a more detailed wood combination in the stave department. So
Great. That's awesome. So now for the last question, I want to
mhm.
ask you what we call the Kenny Sprague fun fact question. What do you like to do totally outside of music and building drums? Something that's unrelated to music.
Okay, well I hate to admit this, but my son has kind of gotten me addicted to Fortnite.
Oh,
So
cool. Nice. That's
you
cool.
can find me on the PS5 pretty often when I'm not building.
Great. Are you
So
good at
yeah,
it?
I'm getting better. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Cool. He's
It's
showing you the
ridiculous.
ropes.
Yeah, yeah. He kind of just pushed me off the ledge, and I've been learning how to fly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's cool.
And the
So,
matches go
folks,
relatively short, so not a lot of
oh, that is
dedication.
cool. Nice. So, folks, the link is in the comments, or Steve's going to put it in there. It's radiostrums.com. And check out what he's got on the website. Follow him on social, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And Kenny, you'll have to keep us posted. And I want to tell everybody, I happen to know that Kenny is going to be exhibiting again at the Las Vegas Drum Show, which next year is on the 29th, if I remember correctly. March
I believe
29th. It's
you're
the
right.
last Sunday. Yeah, and Drum Talk TV will be there again with our booth. We'll be doing interviews out on the showroom floor. We'll be doing interviews at our booth, and we'll be playing our music-themed trivia game show in person, which is a lot of fun. We've always done that online with our membership site, and at the show this past March, we did it for the first time on a big screen with people right there in front of us. It was a lot of fun. Gave away some cool prizes. We'll be doing the same, and we'd love to see you folks at that show. It's a lot of fun and a lot of great drum builders, including Kenny Sprague will be there. Of
Great
Radio
drum
Drum.
today.
That's right. So thanks everybody for following what we do. Kenny, thanks for taking time to join me and talk not only about your drum building, but about a real personal element of your journey. Not everybody is always up for revealing that, but I know that it helps people a lot when they can hear other stories of how someone like you got past that. So that's great that you took the time to be vulnerable and share that. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, and thanks for having me, and yeah, thanks for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, thanks for following what we do. Thanks for joining Kenny and myself here on Drum Talk TV. Lots of new fun stuff happening, and we will see you all soon. Thanks.